Hello and welcome to the Gopherwood Lounge. I am Arc Press Senior Editor DJ Butler. Come on in out of the rain. Before we get started with today's exciting guest and topic, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, come to arc.press and sign up for our newsletter, and then go to X and follow us at arc_press, all of the things. Here today, very excited to talk to my friend Josh Mayne, who is co-chair this year. By this year, I mean 2026. That's actually a good question. You are co-chair up to and for the 2026 symposium. Is that right? You cease being co-chair like on February 15th or something.
Pretty much, yeah. We have a little ceremony where we hand off a gavel that is never used other than that ceremony. And at that point, we've got two new awesome chairs coming in.
Okay, so you already know the co-chairs for next year.
We
Okay,
do.
and it's almost time for the big show of life, the universe, and everything, which is a fantasy and science fiction writing symposium that happens in Provo, Utah, on President's Day weekend, which is usually Valentine's Day weekend.
And it
Uh,
is this year too.
it is this year too, which is great. It is also my wife's birthday weekend, so that's great for me. And she appreciates it very much.
You can
Uh,
bring her.
yeah, I did that one year, and that was enough for her. LTUE, LTUE's website is LTUE, Life, the Universe, Everything.net. And so if you've not heard of LTUE, check it out. If you are a writer though, odds are you probably have. I don't know if technically it is the largest, but it must be one of the largest writing educational events in the country, and it's got to be the largest writing educational event specifically geared principally towards science fiction and fantasy. Am I barking up the wrong tree when I say this? That's got to be true, right, Josh?
It's at least one of them for sure, and one of the oldest as well. We've been around for 44 years. Going into 2026 will be 44 years.
Yeah, which is fantastic. I don't know if you know this. I actually went to, I believe, LTUE 4 and LTUE 5.
I wish
So
I had.
yeah. Did I meet? I think I shook hands with Orson Scott Card. I forget which year. So I listened to him and to Stephen R. Donaldson on panels. My dad was an economics professor for his career, and he taught at BYU. And LTUE was founded by BYU students. And again, it was in like their fourth year when my dad, and I'd have to go back and do the math, but I must have been something like 12. And he got a flyer and said, "Hey, because I, your father, am a faculty member, you, my son, can attend this thing for free." And he knew how nerdy I was, and so I went, and it was in the mezzanine above the Cougar Eat, if you know the BYU geography at all, and ran for several days. Uh, I hadn't read any card. I had read Stephen Donaldson, so it was kind of weird to see him. I think he was the first person where I ever saw the author of a book I had read. And I don't know if you have read the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever, but I expected something much more scandalous from the author. I thought he would be an outrageous, and he was just a very plain-looking white guy in a button-up shirt. Yeah, no, the thing that was shocking was that I saw people playing Dungeons and Dragons and not hiding it. That was very strange.
Because back then it was shunned.
It
Even when
would,
I was a
yes.
when I was a kid, my mom was like, "You can't play that. It's satanic."
No, I had friends. I've talked about this before. I had friends for whose parents I was the bad influence. I was the bad kid, and like they would not let me. I could be in the house, but I had to be in sight. We couldn't be out of sight because we might then play Dungeons and Dragons. But if we were in sight playing Fortress America or Broadsides and Boarding Parties or something, that was okay. Um, yeah, but people were sitting there. I saw my first Filk. I saw public Dungeons and Dragons. It was very is wild bohemian thing. Um, So, but that's not the purpose. It is not a gaming convention. It's not a convention at all, actually. So it styles itself, and it always has, I think, as a symposium.
Hmm.
What is the deal with that? What makes LTUE a symposium and not a con?
We are not fan based, and I think that's the biggest thing. So we're all fans. Like if you're a writer, if you're a creator, you are a fan, but that's not our focus. So if you think of something like Comic-Con or FanX here in Utah, um, they focus on going and seeing these awesome creators, awesome people, and geeking out about the fandom. What we do is we have these awesome creators, illustrators, authors, and they come and they teach you. So if you want to learn from, say, Orson Scott Card about writing or about whatever he's on a panel or teaching a presentation for, you can go to LTUE and you can learn from people who have been in the business for uh, dozens of years or decades or and rather than just going and geeking out about the movies and the books that they write, there is that definitely happens.
Sure.
I do that, but the main focus is to learn. It's for new and developing authors to go and to learn from professionals how to do it. How does Brandon Sanderson have a hugely successful Kickstarter? Unfortunately, Sanderson's not going to be here this year. He's been several times in the past. He will not be this year. But we do have some amazing guests that are going to be this year, and you can go and instead of simply fanboying like I'm going to be doing, you can go and you can learn from them. And that's the distinguishing factor.
Yes,
We push the title
in
symposium.
attendance in 2026.
Say that again. Sorry, it skipped a little.
Oh, sorry, my internet connection has become unstable again, lamentably. You don't have Sanderson this year. Who do you have?
We I Okay, I have to hold back a little bit from this because I am extremely excited about the guests. It's been my job to get them. I'm gonna get into answering your question, but I want to give a little bit of background. Like LTUE quite literally has changed my life, and I do not hide that. As chair this year, the president of Galaxy Press, who puts out the writers and illustrators of the future, his name's John Goodwin, and he and I have spoken for the last few years. He and his wife Emily Goodwin have come and are planning to come this year again. They've come for several years, and he said, "Hey, as chair, I want to invite you to the awards gala for Writers of the Future, and you can come and you can network and you can talk and you can see what we do." So I was fortunate enough to go out there and um I met a couple amazing people. One of the people who I spoke with, his name is Ron Clements. He is the writer and director of movies like The Little Mermaid and Moana and Aladdin, and he is going to be one of our guests of honor this year. He has a book coming out in 2026. Unfortunately, it was delayed, so we don't get to see that at LTUE. But I plan on getting one, and it's got an amazing cover, and he's got that coming out. It's about his life. Another person I was fortunate enough to meet, you mentioned him already. Orson Scott Card is going to be there in 2026.
Oh, wow.
He has not been to LTUE for around 10 plus years. And I spoke with him and I said, "Hey, why haven't you come to LTUE?" And he said, "I have come every year that I have been invited." And I said, "Well, you're invited." And he said, "That's not how it works. You need to email my wife." So I did. I spoke with his wife, and they are well, he at least. His wife might come. We're not sure yet, but they're coming out in February as well. First time in around 10 or 15 years that he'll be here in Utah. So very excited about that. Another our other guests of honor, we have Charlie Holmberg. If you know Charlie, she's amazing. She wrote the Paper Magician as well as several other awesome books. She's an amazing person. Um, and one of the people I'm most excited about, and I'm wearing a shirt to commemorate his book, Dungeon Crawler Carl. We have Matt Dinneman coming. He's got a signing that we're doing on Wednesday for his new book, Operation Bounce House. The tickets for the signing line are already sold out. They sold out in about in less than 2 weeks, but we still have a few tickets available for a Q&A. I'm going to be interviewing him about his books and about um, what he does, and that'll be Wednesday, which is a little separate from the symposium, but that's open to the public. So if you don't come to the actual symposium, you can snag one of those tickets. There's only around 150 left. They're going really fast. So we've got him as well, and he is only coming until Friday morning. So that's a little unfortunate, but he's got a huge book signing he's doing, and our stop or LTUE is his stop for the book signing.
Yeah. So this must be like over in the if you've got 150 tickets left, are you doing the Q&A in like the combined canyons ballrooms? What do you call that? Arches, Zion,
Yep.
Bryce, or whatever?
Yep. We call it brarches. We've got
Brarches.
it all combined, and it's going to be we can fit around 600 people in there, so it'll
Yeah.
be a pretty good crowd.
Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. So let's talk a little bit about about the sort of schedule and logistics. So the event's been at the Provo Marriott for since about 2015, I think, right? About 10 years now.
Yeah.
It was at BYU for the first 20 some years, almost 30 years, I think. And again, I as a kid went in the Wilkinson Center, and then when I went back for the first time as an adult, which must have been 2012, I think, 2011 or 2012, it was in the Harmon Building. And then BYU got kicked out. Now, the story I heard is that somebody dressed in a scandalous cosplay. And I don't know what cosplay it was, but there are lots of scandalous cosplays. It could have been Princess Leia, right?
Yep.
And any variety of superheroes. And I heard that a BYU administrator intervened and said, "We're not doing this anymore on campus." Is this a rumor you can confirm or deny? Is that something?
I do not know, but I can find out, and I want to. We've got some people on the committee that were
Yeah,
a part of that, I'm sure, and I want to ask them now.
yeah. Dave Doring surely will know the answer.
I'm sure he will, and
Yeah.
Marnie Parkin probably would as well.
Marnie Parkin will probably also know the answer. So it was at UVU, Utah Valley University, for 1 year. I don't know why it didn't stay longer there, but it's been at the Provo Marriott. So this is why I have some idea of the conference rooms because I've been going pretty consistently since then. And so, in fact, I think every year since then. So there's the conference rooms on the one side of the building all have tree names, and the conference rooms on the other side of the building all have names for Utah national parks. But you actually have programming that starts on Wednesday. So you got Dinneman signing and Q&A. What else have you got going on the Wednesday before?
Master classes. So we have a lot of amazing stuff that goes on Thursday through Saturday, but in addition to that, you can pay a little bit extra and have exclusive, like 4 hour blocks of professionals. Like they've been doing this full time for years. So
Yeah.
we've got Wolf Moon, who if you know Wolf Moon, you know he's an amazing author. He's teaching two classes. One is learning the super secrets of writing through Guardians of the Galaxy and how to write a howling good story. And Wolf Moon, touching back on the writers of the future, he he won that. I don't remember what place he got, but he was published in the anthology, and he has had around 10 people in his that have taken his classes that are a part of his writing group, writing community, who have also been published in Writers of the Future. And if you don't know anything about Writers of the Future, you should, because that's a pretty big deal. Like he's consistently had people win who have been associated with him and have learned from him. So if you are a new author, you should check out that for sure. Um, there is also Gallowglass, M. Todd Gallowglass, who he's going to be teaching three classes, and he has four principles of engaging writing, dramaturgy, making magic with narrative, and unleashing your hidden extrovert for fun and profit. And he's been a full-time author and creator and entertainer for several years. He is excellent at what he does, and he's very good at being extroverted. He can put on that hat and make friends wherever he goes. Additionally, we have this amazing person called that calls himself DJ Butler. I don't know if you know him.
Oh, Yeah. He's a fraud, I've been told.
Oh,
He's a grifter and a fake.
I
Uh,
disagree with that, but he's teaching
yeah.
some master classes as well. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that guy.
I respect your willingness to defend your faculty at least. Yeah, I'll be teaching two classes, two 4-hour classes. One on, and these are workshops. So if you're listening to this and you've signed up for the classes or you want to sign up for the classes, you should bring projects to work on. So one of
Yes.
them is on muscular prose, and the way this is going to work is I'm going to go through and teach some principles, and then you're gonna sit down and edit your thing and then share, right? And we're gonna look at things together over the course of 4 hours. Editing for muscular prose, which is not um, what do I mean by that? I mean prose that is on the one. What I mean is prose that is effective. And I think there's sort of two dials here. One is often there's a lot of fat in prose, and two, often there's not enough muscle. So it is both trimming out the fat and also adding muscle into your writing so that your sentences are powerful, so they're muscular, right?
I like that.
Yeah. And there it turns out there's you can give people some fairly objective. It's one thing to just tell people. So this is a thing that happened to me relatively early in my career is Tony Weiskopf acquired Witchy Eye, and she gave me only one comment. She said it's too long. She didn't tell me what to do about that. She just said it's too long. And I looked at it and I thought, I don't want to cut. There's no character I want to cut out. I don't want to like remove a bunch of subplots and restructure this thing. It's going to be dumb. So I
And
said,
you wouldn't get a lot of the background either. Like if you cut too much, you wouldn't get
right.
the
Half the
world
book,
building and the history that's in it.
which is a great deal of the fun. And
Yeah.
so I said, okay, I'm just going to see how much I can cut out by cutting out unnecessary prose and refocusing my writing to be kind of more muscular. And I took the book from 240,000 to 205,000 words, cut out 35,000 words without removing a character or a subplot or a scene.
That
And
is
to do
amazing.
that. Yeah, I actually believe that anybody could do it because I have edited a lot of manuscripts and people tend to write fat. So bring your project. We'll work on it. We'll improve your prose to permanently affect your writing ability. The other one, speaking of world building, is we'll do a world building. I forget what the thing is called. But what we're actually going to do is again bring a project you're working on, whatever stage you're on, and we're going to work on. I want to. Uh, I want to lead people to world building from the real world. The real world is so much more gnarly and interesting and complicated than sort of the other approach, which is picking systematic things like the colors of the rainbow or the periodic table and world building from that into a story. But what that means is we're really going to be talking for 4 hours about how strange the world is, and uh, and sort of taking breaks to sort of turn that into world building in your current projects, right? So again, it's not 4 hours of lecture; it's 4 hours of work. So come with prepared to take notes and bring your projects. And I think that's mostly what the master classes are, right? I don't think it's
Yes.
mostly 4 hours of lecture.
No, these are workshops. You go and you like you said, you need to expect to work. You need to expect to go and take a class and probably be given some homework too.
Yeah, I should say I was just at Dragonsteel this last week, and I ran into a woman who is a visual artist, a painter, and she actually said, she said, I took your class on querying, on writing query letters. I think it was 2 years ago. She said it was the best class I ever took. So this is a plug from me. But she also said I took, it was a class about writing pitch letters, query letters for books, right? She said I took it I'm using that material to pitch paintings when I sell them. And I just sold a $3,000 painting using the techniques you use to teach me how to write query letters for novels, right? Which is, I think I charged $20 for that class. So like the ROI on that $20 class for her is pretty spectacular.
It's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah. Um, So yeah, so day one is the master classes. It's basically so you got the Matt Dinniman thing and
Yeah.
then
And let me quickly interject, Dave. I want to give a
yeah.
plug for the few others we have as well. So
Okay.
Adam Heesh, he's our artist masterclass giver this year. He's incredible. That same person who you're talking about, she she says that she learned a lot of what she does from Adam Heesh. And he's got two classes. He's got Making the Art You Love for the People You Want and Advanced Perspective for Artists. And he's super awesome guy. Again, expect to work, expect to learn. We have Jason Christopher, and he's going to be teaching queries in the genesis of creation. We have Matthew Bachholt, mastering prose techniques for interpreting and applying the rules of writing. And we have Sandra Taylor, structuring your life around your writing. And um, some of these people I have met, and they're amazing people. Other people I have not had the opportunity to meet yet, but they are all professionals. They've been doing this for years, and the prices are extremely reasonable. You're not going to find these anywhere else, and Christmas is coming up. So if you are not somebody interested in these, then you should send them to somebody who could be and give them a Christmas present.
So this is actually probably worth commenting on generally. So LTUE has always been an astonishing value for money.
The tickets are currently $80 for all 3 days for the full membership. Now that does not include master classes, but it does include programming for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Um, it goes up in January, I believe, up to $90, and then at the door is $100. Um, that's the full membership price, and you're not going to find that anywhere else. Any other thing of this caliber is going to be hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
But if you are a student, we know students are poor, and in this economy, you know, that old joke. Student memberships are next to nothing. You can get a student membership for all 3 days for $10. $10. It doesn't even cover the cost of anything, but we want students to come. We want them to experience LTUE. We want them to learn from these creators, and we want them to maybe be the next Dave Butler or Sanderson.
Or somebody
Sanderson,
good.
yeah, or somebody good. Matt Dinneman.
Next, Matt Dinniman.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, just as a comment, and actually, by the way, so not only is the ticket cheap, but the venue, Provo, is relatively inexpensive. Like you're not going to the Javits Center in New York City, and the hotel is going to cost you $300 a night for an 8 by 8 foot cube. Like it's pretty affordable place,
Yep.
right? And for that matter, the symposium itself is a block and a half from a grocery store, from a Kroger. So like you can do this all. It's shockingly affordable. Um, but the on the subject of students, this is one thing I love about LTUE and its kind of position in the writing tuition cosmos, because I don't know how generally people realize this, but Utah Valley has two of the largest undergraduate universities in the nation in it. Not one, two. And I forget the exact numbers, but last I knew them, both BYU and Utah Valley University were both approaching something like 40,000 students or full-time equivalent students. I think actually UVU is now the larger of the two. Although I think it includes more part-time students. Anyway, but my data could be a little bit, out of date. Nevertheless, if you've not been to Utah Valley, one thing you might experience is you might feel like this is a astonishingly young place. Why is it so
Mhm.
full of 20-year-olds? And that is the reason why, is there are actually two massive universities like 8 miles apart. Um, so yeah, love to get those people in,
Yes.
get them thinking about this stuff early.
And on a similar topic, like Utah is huge for creatives. Like I like to joke that you can hardly throw a rock without hitting a somebody who writes or
Yeah.
illustrates or is in the film industry. And I mean, I don't know all the history, but I would like to attribute at least a portion of that to LTUE. Like we've been around a long time, and you can go other places. The writing scene and fantasy science fiction scene in Utah is there's hardly any other place like it.
Yeah. It's interesting. And this is, I can't remember if we've talked about this in the Gopherwood Lounge. This is sometimes articulated as the question, why are there so many Mormons in science fiction and fantasy? Right. And, there could be lots of reasons, but one reason might be because Mormons created institutions like LTUE, and it's not a Mormon institution, right? But it was
No.
created by BYU students. And it is served as literally a channel for teaching people how to be professionals in this industry for what is it, 44, 43 years, right?
44, going into
44.
44.
I know we just had the 42 the other year because
Yep,
the Douglas Adams pun was irresistible.
definitely.
Yeah. So, and we've had, people like Orson Scott Card who come back and,
Hmm.
be kind of in the constellation of patron saints of the symposium. And like that might be the answer. In fact, it might be the answer the answer might be there are so many, right? Brandon Sanderson, Stephanie Meyer, Brandon Mull, et cetera, because of LTUE. Like I don't know that all of those guys, James Dashner, David Farley, I don't know that all of them would say LTUE was formative for me, but I bet the sort of those who have been writing the last 10 or 20 years have probably all went at least once, maybe
Yes,
multiple times.
definitely. Sanderson, we've got a nice little blurb on our website, and he attributes some of his early success to LTUE.
Yeah. His L2E got me to the mid list. Then I wrote an appreciation of Robert Jordan. Anyway, so yeah, so look, you could be next. You could be next. That's the point. And maybe it's the institution and not the genetic talent or whatever. Um, so okay, so you pay $80 if you sign up in the next 3 weeks. What kinds of stuff does one do? There are fandom panels. You can go to a panel where you say,
Yes.
what's going to happen in the next season of The Expanse or whatever, Expanse, whatever the live shows are now.
Hmm.
Um, but as you say, the principal focus is teaching. So what does that mean, practically speaking?
So some of my favorite are the hands-on things. One that I help with, I've been helping with every year. I've got a friend named Scott Stevens. He's an author, lives in Montana, and he's a doctor professionally. Um, he's a pediatrician, and I met him at LTUE, and he, oh, I'm going to wait until you unfreeze.
Oh man, you froze. Scott Stevens, you were saying, a
Yes,
doctor, a pediatrician, indeed a
yes,
pediatrician, among other things, on the Crow Nation Indian Reservation up there.
yep, yep. So he joined the committee a few years ago, and he said, "Hey, I would really like to do a hands-on first aid class." And so what we do is we have a limited number of people. Last year we had 40 people. So we have Scott, he's a pediatrician. I'm an EMT and I do search and rescue, so I help with it. And then we have other people who are some background in the medical field. And we have a little workshop in the evening and we show people how to do first aid. Like they actually do it. We do splints, we do IVs, we do sutures, and we're giving people that have never experienced this before the opportunity to see firsthand how to do these things. And Scott is phenomenal. Like he's donated some stuff so that we can have this. And then we had a scenario last year. It was like this interdimensional thing that happened, and we had patients, mock patients that were hurt, and we went and had to take care of them. And the idea is for people that have never experienced this before, what better way to get an idea for your writing than to actually do it? And that this is one of my favorite ones. We're doing it again this year. So that's one example. Other things are more more conservative. So we'll talk about marketing. I was on a marketing class or panel. I was on a marketing panel last year, and we talked about just how do you grow your newsletter? How do you gain a following? Like a big thing for authors is you can have an amazing author, but they don't know how to market. So they write the best book in the world, but 10 people buy it. Their mom buys it and says how special they are because they can't get it out there. Nobody knows about it. So we teach things like that. We
That's
have
in
pitch
fact
sessions. Go
that's the
ahead.
normal that's the normal outcome actually. I think it's still
Yeah.
the case that the average self-published book. There are outsized successes, right? Matt Dinneman.
Hmm.
There are people that sell to tens of millions of people, but like mostly actually people who create a self-published book sell 50 copies.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's good. 50 copies is good. And
Yeah.
in something that another author who's been a guest several times in the past, um, James A. Owen,
Oh yeah.
amazing person. He he posted on social media recently that authors and creators, we don't really consider each other competition. We're all trying to build each other up, and all you need to really be successful is and be truly successful is 10,000 fans. Like if you have 10,000 fans, you
You
can
do
live off
great.
me easily.
100%.
Yeah. And there are 350 million people just in the United States. So 10,000 is less than a percent.
Yeah.
So so you can come and you can learn how to do these things, and all of the authors can be successful and help each other and say, hey, you're not interested in this book, check out theirs. And if you market and you know how to do that, we can all be successful and lift each other up. So that's another thing you learn. Um, Authors are also traditionally very introverted. I've had to break myself of that. And we've got classes on how to approach people um for for queries or for pitch sessions. Like you need to talk to an agent, but you're choked up because you can't talk. That's a problem. You can
Yeah.
be an amazing author, but if you can't promote yourself and market yourself, you're going to run into some barriers that somebody wouldn't if they have the skills to be able to talk to people.
And
And
this
there's,
is true, by the way. This is true for traditionally published authors as well as indie
yeah.
authors. The the number of authors who can be like Thomas Pynchon, where they're just social recluses who are impossible to meet, is very, very few, actually,
Hmm.
in today's world. And some of this is like if you're watching this and trying to imagine like what's happening. Some of this is panel discussion.
Hmm.
A lot of professionals show up both from the indie space and the traditional space. Some of it is presentations, right? People
Yep.
will give presentations. And sorry, you I think you were saying pitch sessions.
Yeah. So we also have some pitch sessions with editors. I don't know offhand who all of them are, but
I mean, I'll
I
be doing it this next year. I did it last year. I'll say this also.
oh, there you go.
Arc Press chose to sort of unveil ourselves, launch our press at LTUE last year. So we had a couple of events, and one was kind of a hour long, I don't know what to call it, but like a Meet Arc Press event. And then a separate one was launching, describing, publicizing the series that Larry Correia is writing for us.
Hmm.
But then separately, we had three editors there hearing pitches and took pitches for all 3 days.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I thank you for telling me that. I didn't know that you were doing that again this year.
Yeah.
So we've got Arc and we've got several other editors that are going to be there. We've got um John Goodwin, I mentioned him earlier. He's going to be doing one-on-one sessions to talk about the industry and give some advice on like professional advice. And John Goodwin and Emily, they are amazing people, um, awesome to talk to. And we've got other smaller things as well. We've got a table where editors can just go and sign up for a few minutes, and you can go and talk to them and give them a page of your manuscript, and they can quickly run through and say, hey, these are some things you could do better. And so Nick Nelson. He has been heading that. Thankfully, he's not even on the committee. He's just amazing, and he's set up a little table last year and is planning to do that again this year. And this is just a portion. Like there are uh, around around 100 different classes and presentations and panels that you can go and attend that talk about the craft, about writing in particular, about art, about gaming, about
There's also
videography.
another unique thing about LTUE, it's probably not absolutely unique, but at least distinctive, and which I suspect goes back to its days of being, I mean, again, the first almost 30 years it was on a university campus, is that you have academic papers on literature. My friend Bruce Allred, for example, likes to present, and I know he's presented papers on things like the ecology as presented in the writings of Anne McCaffrey, for example, right? And
Mhm.
it's academic paper, and so that's a pretty. Not, again, I don't know it's unique. There's probably other cons that there are probably conventions that do it, but LTUE still has kind of a foot in academia. You know, it is a
Definitely.
teaching event. You've also got an art show, which I don't know if we've talked about at
No,
all.
we have not, and we need to because we've we're doing it a little bit differently this year. Tremony Sutcliffe is running the art show, and um, we're going to have art for sale. We've got some amazing original pieces that are being donated, and we're going to have an auction for these pieces. And I've seen one of them. Tremony is donating a piece, and it's incredible. I I would buy it if I could afford the price tag that it's going to pull for this
Gonna
auction
end
because
up,
it's
yeah.
it's phenomenal. Um, and we've also got some prints that are being donated. Again, jumping back to Galaxy Press Writers and Illustrators of the Future, they're donating some stuff, and it's all to benefit the symposium. So you can go online now if you're an artist or an illustrator. You can go online now and submit your work for the art show. Please keep it family friendly. This is a family event. Uh, PG-13 or cleaner, please. Um, but you can go online now and submit your work to be in the art show. We've got a small competition. I don't think there's anything other than notoriety for the winning, but you do get to go, and we'll have we'll have some live demonstrations from the artists this year, and art for sale. We may have some print on demand prints available. That's still in the works, and we'll have artists that are will be there selling their stuff on Friday. We have a mass signing, and we're incorporating the art show into that this year so that the artists and illustrators can be there as well, selling their work.
Fantastic. I thanks for bringing up the signing. I was going to mention that next. It's so on the signing is on Friday night, right?
Yep, Friday. And that is
There's
open to
a
the public.
yeah, it is open to the public. I don't know how you guys publicize that. I don't know how widely known it is that it's open to the public.
It's not widely known enough.
Right. Right. Regardless of how you do it, the answer is more people should know.
Yes,
Um, but
definitely.
basically, it's that Brouches space, the three big um, conference rooms of the Provo Marriott, which
Yes.
you remove the middle walls, you get one gigantic room, and you have like sort of a double ring of tables around the whole thing, and you have I don't know the number of authors, but it's dozens. Each with
Yes.
their own half table, selling books. So it's a great event for meeting a writer you like, who you know is going to be
Hmm.
there. It's a great event. The whole thing is a great event for networking. We haven't talked much about that, but as an
No, but we
opportunity,
will.
but as a-
After we talk about the mass signing, we should talk about
we'll talk
networking.
about networking. It's a great event it's a great opportunity to sell your books, to meet readers, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, just a terrific feature of the symposium. So I don't know if let me ask you the question. Let me ask you the question. if you sign up you pay your $80, you're not on the schedule, but you have self-published a couple of novels, can you still apply to be in the mass signing?
Yes, you can. Space is limited, but if
Yeah.
you want to come be in the mass signing, you send an email to either contact at ltue.net
Yeah.
or guest services at ltue.net. That one will come directly to me, and we will get you on a waiting list to potentially be there. We have people every year who aren't official guests, panelists, presenters who are in that mass signing, and it's really good. Spread the word. If you can't be there, let other people know. And some of these are artists and illustrators and authors. They're not going to be here again for who knows how long. Orson
Right.
Scott Card, for instance, he's not had a signing in Utah for years, and he's going to be at LTUE and it's open to the public. So if
Yeah.
you have a first edition Avengers game sitting in your closet that you've been dying to get signed by
Now's a
Orson
great
Scott
time.
Card, come to
Yeah.
LTUE. And
Yeah.
it's free entry for that mass signing. It starts at 7 o'clock Friday the 13th. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Uh,
it's open to the public.
yeah. So, by the way, like I don't know if Matt Dinneman's ever had a signing. I guess he was just at Dragonsteel, but like
Mhm.
Card is actually a guy who comes back recurringly. So there may be even rarer people you might catch. Uh,
Yes, and again, Dinneman, he is not going to be at the mass signing on Friday. He has an
right.
exclusive signing, ticket only
Wednesday.
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Um, we've got some other stuff set up for him for members that are paid for the symposium, but um, he's his actual signing it's sold out. It's sold out in, like I said, about a week and a half.
Yeah. No doubt. And so there is typically I don't think this has happened every year, but generally there's a bookstore like King's
Mhm.
English or somebody will participate and they'll sort of stock a book or two of each of the traditional published writers at least who are
Yeah,
participating. But
I'm
at that
I'm glad
mass
you mentioned
signing,
that. I'm
yeah, at the
glad you
mass,
mentioned that because Poppy Books is our big
okay,
um, book provider
partner,
this year. We've
whatever it
also
is, yeah,
got Fiction Mobile, who is they're more of a consignment seller. They have some other stuff as well, but they do consignment, so they can get the books that Poppy Books can't. And Poppy Books is amazing. Oh my gosh, they're phenomenal team. Like it's a mother and daughter who are the owners, and then their team is amazing. They were at Dragonsteel. They were the bookseller for Dragonsteel, and they do a great job. They're coming to LTUE again this
yeah,
year. Shout out to them. I hope they're watching and they can hear me praise them over and over
yeah,
again.
yeah. Is Fiction Mobile, is that Kelly Olson's book?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
very cool. She's been on the scene for a long time doing kind of consignment sales for indie
Hmm.
writers. But at the mass signing, people often also just bring their own stock.
Yep. They can bring their own stock, but if you're flying in, that's more difficult.
That's a pain in the butt. Yeah.
So
Oh, so
books
network.
will be
Oh, sorry.
limited. Books will be limited for the mass signing. Like if you're in the general populace, you don't want to come and because you're not an author, you're not interested in it, you can still come to the mass signing, get some books signed. You can bring your own. The authors will be stoked to have you there and to
Yes.
sign some stuff.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Networking. So, I mean, one of the things that I think it's hard to advertise or talk about is what is sometimes called BarCon, which is to say there's a lot of social activity that happens around the symposium or similar events where you can meet other professionals and approach them. You guys
Yep.
organize a series of what are called coffee clatches,
Hmm.
which is a specified, those are in the schedule. So you'll say, this editor or agent or writer in this room for this hour. And it's called a coffee clatch. The idea is everybody brings their own drink or whatever. You don't have to have a
Hmm.
drink. You just sit at a table and like that, like in a boardroom kind of setting.
That's
And
exactly what it is. It's a boardroom.
yeah, and you get a chance to be with James Owen or Kevin Anderson or whoever it is, and in a relatively intimate setting with like 20 people or 10 people rather than
Yep.
100, right? So you can ask questions or pitch ideas or whatever.
Yeah.
But also there's just a whole lot of being in the halls, right? So the hotel is kind of an L shape, and it's got the tree conference rooms over here and the Park conference rooms over here. And what's in the center here is the restaurant and bar and a whole bunch of just like couches and chairs. And you'll see that area is full for the entire
All the
symposium.
time.
Yep. And people just go in and they sit down and then they, you're passing through and you'd be like, and you say, oh, what? That's Josh Mayne. And like you'll see kind of clusters form
That'll
and
be the day.
dissipate. Yeah. You're the co chair. This is your year. Uh,
Yeah.
and there's value there, right? This is a great way to meet people who might acquire your book or give you a
Mhm.
blurb or give you a tip or just be your friend, right?
Yep. So I mentioned that LTUE has changed my life. I am very, very introverted. Like you wouldn't know that now, but when I was a kid, it was like the knot in your stomach, like social anxiety out just flowing from my ears. And I have learned to break myself of that. And part of it was LTUE, and this goes into the networking and talking to the other creators. I felt in my element at LTUE. There were like-minded people who wanted to come and learn and just talk about books and the creative process. And a few years ago, I went and I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk to some people. And my my method of talking to people was going and sitting and praying somebody would come and talk to me. That did not work at all. Um, and so I gave up and went home and cried myself to sleep. The next year, I had a different approach. I went and I was much more outgoing and I went and sat with people and was not forcefully, but I put myself out there. I was talking to people. And that year I made some amazing connections. I was given a book by somebody who's like, "Hey, you've been amazing this year. I want you to have a book." And it it finally proved to me that I had broken out of that shell. It took me 38 years to do it, but I did it. And it was a comfortable space. Like people, I just had a lunch with my full-time job. And one of the women that was there, it was a lot of fun because just happened to sit by these two women. Then they're in the writing community. One's a librarian, and one, she's like, my dream job is to be an author, but I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, oh, let me tell you, there is this place you can go. And she still was like really reserved. She's like, I don't even know how to approach that. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm not even writing. I'm like, look, you don't understand. I know this is just coming from me, but the atmosphere there, everyone is like-minded. Everyone knows what it's like to be new. There's introverts everywhere that are hiding their faces because somebody looked at them and smiled. There's people exactly like us and like you who are in the exact same situation, and they're just trying to find their people. And I can honestly say, like, LTUE is my people, and it helped me break out of that shell. And now I'm a co-chair, like I'm guest services, I'm vendor, and my job at LTUE is to go and talk to people. 20 years ago, I quite literally would not have been able to do that, but it's helped me break out of the shell, and I've made some amazing connections because of it. Like Dave Butler, for instance, that guy that Dave was bashing on a few minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, punk. Um, yeah, that's so let's just kind of think about like the someone said, well, okay, this all sounds interesting. So what are my how do I get into this constellation? Well, you can go. You can go to the website, you can buy a ticket, $80, right? And
Mm.
go all 3 days. Um, if you are, and I don't know if it's too late for this year, but if it's too late for this year, you could do it for next year. You can try and get on programming. So you can reach out to LTUE
Yes,
through
it
the
is too late
website.
for this year, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I mean, unless you are, I don't know, if Jim Butcher or somebody emailed you, you'd probably try and
Yeah,
find a place
if
for
Jim
it.
Butcher is watching this and he's like, I want to go, please reach out to me. We will get you on programming. Dave froze again.
Yeah.
Maybe I froze.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not I'm not sure which one of us froze, but one of us froze.
I don't know either. Might have me. Hopefully it was me because you were the one who was cracking a joke. Um, yeah, but next year, right? LTUE.net, you can just do it early, do it in advance, right? Don't wait. If you want to display art, if you want to get a table in the vendor room, you can reach out to LTUE, or you want to give an academic paper. You can also volunteer. This is staffed by
Yes,
volunteers, and there is
100%.
turnover there, right? So there's always opportunity to show up and get on a team, and you may think I have no idea how to run a science fiction symposium. Well, no one did until they went and volunteered and started having to do it, right?
And
Um,
look at us now.
and look at you now. And yeah, all of those options. There may be others, and so look, if you're thinking there's some other capacity, I'd love to be, help LTUE or interface with LTUE. Just reach out to the website. If you email guest services or the chair, right, either one of those will get you right now.
Yep.
Um, and um, and yeah, what a terrific event. What should we talk about? What have we not talked about, Josh? That's important for us to get out into the world here 2 months before LTUE goes on.
I do want to say one more thing about it. If you want to be a volunteer, you can sign up for that now. We're looking for volunteers right now, for the day of, or if you're interested on being the committee, reach out to us. We'll probably take you. We've got stuff that needs to be done. Um, Aside from that, just it's amazing. We did not talk about the gala, the banquet. We do
Oh,
have a banquet.
you know why? Because I've never been. I've never attended. So
Uh,
I have to be reminded that tell me about the gala, Josh. I don't know anything about it.
so we it's mostly casual. We'll have a Toastmaster.
It's a dinner, right?
It is. It's a
So,
dinner.
so the Toastmaster presents the guest of honor who gives a speech. Is that right?
No, the Toastmaster is the one who gives the speech.
Oh,
They
okay.
will talk about something inspiring that has to do with LTUE for 15 or 20 minutes. Um, and in the past, we have in that dinner we've handed over that gavel we talked about. We will
To next year's chairs.
talk about the new chairs. We're not doing that this year. We're going to have a short closing ceremony for everyone. You don't have to be at the banquet in order to see that. We're going to hand over that gavel. Mike Bishop and I, we're the chairs this year, and the chairs for 2027 are Jenna Allen and Emily Davis, I think. I can't remember her last name. But they're two amazing women. They've been on the committee for Emily a year and Jenna for several years, and they're incredible. They're going to continue the legacy. I wish I could stay on his chair longer. I would honestly love to do it. I've loved it this year, but maybe again in a few years I can do it.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Well, Josh Mayne, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Really appreciate it. Again, you can find contact widgets and information about the event this year and generally at ltue.net. And for those of you who are still listening, again, thank you. This is Ben the Gopherwood Lounge. Remember, the humans win in the end.